This is Season 2, Episode 5 of Ruck on Wisp Sports Radio. And at Wisp Sports, we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage. I'm Kim Donaldson, and Ruck On is the rugby show about women's international rugby. I'm lucky to be joined by Poppy Cleo. Thanks for joining us again, Poppy.
No worries. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Poppy is an international player for England, where she, with her team, just won the Tyrrell Premier 15s title. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I think it was 3 weeks ago, but we haven't stopped celebrating yet.
Yeah, that's what I've seen on Twitter. It's celebration after celebration. You guys just can't get enough, and nor should you. It's a big deal. And I see you won it with your twin sister. That must have been a really special occasion for you guys.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for me and my sister, it was her first ever Premiership final. For me, it was my third. So she was kind of looking at me the whole game. But yeah, to win it was really good. Sarries hadn't won it since 2015. So I think that's why we've prolonged the celebrations a bit. And because it's obviously the inaugural Tyrrell's Premiership, it was even more special because now we're going to always be the first ever winners. So
congrats again. So I saw going into this, you guys were 1-1 with the Harlequins. You each won a game apiece, and the game just seemed like a really physical match and really great contest.
Yeah, it was. We were going in. We'd lost at home against them, but we'd beaten them away. So it was really up in air. I don't think there was a favourite going in. They were reigning champs, but we were finished top of the table. So it was such a hard game, so physical. It was live on Sky, so we got. Hopefully the figures were good, but I think a good number of people tuned in. And we left it to the last play. Anyone could have won it. And of course, we had a line out in the last play, our own line out. We lost that. So we prolonged the game a couple of extra minutes, and being so close, there was a few nervous supporters, and we were all pretty nervous. But yeah, we won it in the end, and it was always going to be a close final because the two teams were so competitive the whole season. Actually, the league this year decided that there was going to be playoffs. When we got to first, second, third, fourth, we had to play home and away, and I think the best two teams got to the final. So it made.
So you feel like it was a good representation of English rugby.
Yeah. So it was like physical enough. Set piece was quite accurate for the day. There was a kind of a few final nerves, but I think overall it gave a good account of how women's rugby's doing in England.
Excellent. And it seems like you've got a lot of young bucks on your side anyways.
So young. They are so young.
Your captain, even, is it Charlotte Clapp?
Yeah. Lottie. We call her Lottie.
Lottie, she seems quite young. Yeah, and you've got a lot. It's just really exciting to see such a high level of play from so much youth.
Mm-hmm. So I've been playing in the Premiership for, I think, seven years now. And I think this is definitely the first year where the majority of the team are probably under 21. They're incredibly young. We had Helena Rowland. She got a Players' Player of the Year for Saracens this season. She's only 18.
Wow.
And she had a huge performance in the final. She kicked all our conversions, which essentially won us the game in the end because we were 4 points clear.
Right.
And then Zoe Harrison, our 10, she's 19, I think. Hannah Botman, our prop, who scored a try, she's 18. So they're literally so young, and they're going to have really good careers ahead of them. They're still learning, but they're in with Sarries now, and in the Premiership, they're in such a good setup and place that they can really develop their game. And I'm sure in like years to come, you'll see them in the international stage.
Yeah, that's really exciting for English club rugby and obviously English international rugby. Since then, maybe you had a glance at the royal wedding?
Yes, of course. With 13 million other people, we all tuned in to watch it.
And is this something that like your family gets into or your household that gets into? Like, what's your setup for watching the royal wedding?
My sister went to a royal wedding party, and I saw a few royal wedding parties, and I do regret I didn't have sort of tea and cakes and sit and watch the royal wedding.
Did you wear a fancy hat?
No fancy hat, nothing. But I thought it only comes round. Well, the next one's going to be in 30 years when Prince George gets married to somebody. So I thought you should watch it and tune in. So if you didn't, you've missed your opportunity there. haven't you, Kim?
You're right. I did miss my opportunity at 1 a.m. for this round, but I mean, maybe timing will work better in 30 years. We never know, Poppy. We'll
Hopefully
see
it won't
what
be
happens.
so early.
We'll see what happens. But I will be prepared and get myself a fancy hat for it, I think.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I'll be prepared and organise a party.
Okay, deal. Also in Saracens news, your head coach, Rob Kane, is leaving to go coach the USA Eagles, their 15 side. That must be a tough loss for you guys.
Yeah, it is a huge loss. So he's been at Sarries now 4 years. And when I first joined Sarries, he was obviously head coach was his first year, and we won the Premiership that year. And then, unfortunately, we didn't win anything for about 2 years. Now we finally won it again. So it's for him to leave and to move on to bigger things, because it's a huge thing. And I think the best thing about it all is that we've got a head coach from Women's Premiership that's going on to international things, and it just shows that if you coach in the Women's League, you can go on to bigger and better things, and just that I think that USA have got a great coach, and we are sad to see him go. He rang me at the weekend and told me, and I was shocked actually that he was going, because he's just always lived in London and been in London, and it's going to be a big thing for him to leave and go over there for a new challenge. But it's an exciting one, and I'm really happy for him, and that he's earned it really.
Yeah, from what I was reading, it seems like he's had a big impact in the development of a lot of athletes in England, and just a testament to his character. Obviously, he called you personally to let you know what was going on. You've played against the US as well. What do you think Rob will bring to the Eagles?
Oh, I think he's a really good sort of people person, if that's such a thing. So
sure,
he's honest with you, and he always keeps you in the loop. So he likes to break things down quite a lot and go right into like the really nitty gritty and look really closely at things. So I think that will help with them, because when I've played against them, they're just big and athletic and strong, and they've got some really good big ball carriers. So if they can just get the little things right, which I think, well, hopefully he'll bring to them, yeah, they will improve. But they're already, what was it, 4th in the world, and they made the semi-final at the World Cup. So he's getting them in a good place, really, I think, anyway.
On the upswing, maybe.
Yeah, well, hopefully not too upswing, but yeah, on the upswing.
Also in English rugby, there's a bit of a gap in your English coaching staff, I understand.
Yeah, so I think the same week that Rob got announced he was leaving, Matt Ferguson is our forwards coach, and he's been our forwards coach for 4 years, so this has been his 4th season. So yeah, he's unfortunately left us again for a bigger and better job at Northampton Saints. He's going to be the assistant coach, which is a huge role in a Premiership men's team.
It seems pretty cool that English rugby is obviously, there's a pathway for athletes, but it seems like there's also a pathway for coaches. Would you anticipate that gap in your coaching staff being filled by maybe someone who's coached maybe development sides or other Premiership teams or something like that?
I'm really not sure what it's going to attract, like who's going to apply for it. As the same, I'm not sure who's going to apply for our Tyrrell's Premiership vacancy. Luckily, I think in the Premiership now, in the Tyrrell's Premiership, they're going to be full-time roles. So we're going to be advertising a full-time professional head coach for the first time ever. Wow. And quite a lot of the other teams are, because it's a requirement if you want to be in our league. That's in the next 3 years, you've got to employ a full-time coach.
Wow.
So now there's going to be people who wouldn't apply previously because the money wasn't good enough or there wasn't enough hours for them. So it's going to be really interesting. And I think in the last couple of years, instead of it looking as a backward step to get involved as a coach in the women's game, it's something that people are going to be fighting for, to try and get involved in coaching us, because they can see how you can push on for it. And instead of we're getting people, we can ring up people and being like, oh, go on, apply for it. We're going to be saying to a lot of people, no, sorry, you didn't get the job, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And I think that's comparative to what's happening in Australia with their professional league. And And I mean, in Canada, I think it'd be more comparable to our university system. We use our universities definitely as a pathway for athletes. And I would say that financing for coaches is also becoming more competitive. And it's just really exciting to see that it's only going to help grow the women's game, right?
Yeah, exactly. We definitely need that to help grow, because it's not just always about the players, it's about the quality of coaching we can get in, and it's about who we can attract to help support us and make us better as players. So the better coaches we can get in, the better the whole setup's going to be.
Excellent. Also in coaching news on this side of the pond, Canada's head coach has been announced. So Sandro Fiorino, he's been coaching Canada for the last several months, just on the interim. Previously, he's coached national sevens team. He's coached Canada under 20s. He's been part of identification and selection for Canada's programs for over a decade. So he's slotting into that head coach role for the 15s program. And then also in Canada, Langford just hosted the latest sevens stop. Did you have a chance to catch any of that, Poppy?
I did. I had a little look at how the England girls were doing.
Yes.
Which wasn't as I don't think they expected, because obviously they came off the Commonwealth with a third place, which is a huge achievement for them.
Yeah.
But I think their whole mindset is building for the World Cup now, and I think it's one more leg to go, is it? And I think they're hoping that they peak at the right time. So I think they're using these tours now to get ready for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like you said, there's one more stop in Paris next month, and then after that, San Francisco for the World Cup sevens. So just to recap what happened in Langford, New Zealand took Australia in the final, kind of classic women's final, going off the last few tournaments. A bit more of a landslide than usual. New Zealand took Australia quite easily, and the standings are now at Australia still leads with 74 points, and New Zealand just behind with 70, followed by France, Canada, and USA. USA has started to creep up. So, yeah, Canada and the US are tied in terms of points right now. Canada hasn't had as much success in the last couple of tournaments, but like you said, maybe just trying to balance things out and hit their peak for San Francisco.
So what we're saying in the Paris 7, it's going to be a winner takes all in the final, do you reckon, for the title?
Yeah, very much so.
Because I think it's more than the first and second is more than 4 points difference. So it's going to be whoever wins the tournament's going to win the whole World Series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, yeah, I think that tournament will be a really exciting one to watch. Also in Langford, Fiji landed in the top 8 for the second time in a row. And Japan won the Challenge Trophy over Spain. And so Japan has been trying to up their physical game, which we saw a little bit in that tournament. And as we saw at the last 15s World Cup as well, they're kind of up and coming and an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, they're so you just don't know what sort of tactic they're going to bring in, and I think whatever tactic they can find and they can suit them, they can sort of just stick with that one. But at the moment, they're like trying out a couple of things, and obviously being more physical is working for them, because from the World Cup, they had a couple of their scrum was insane. I remember as our team, we were watching obviously other teams and watching their games, and we were like, oh my goodness, their scrum, they were all so little and compact. They just all worked together as an 8, and they were just winning 100% of their scrums every game. And we were literally trying to take tips from them, and our coach was like, watch this, now this is how you scrum girls.
That's great. Yeah, and that's
you wouldn't think it, but they were honestly probably had one of the best scrums. I think they probably did have probably the best percentage scrums in the World Cup, just obviously last year.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. They were really exciting to watch, and just so much focus on technique, I think. I mean, like you said, they are on the smaller size, so what they lack in size, they're definitely making up for in technique. And as you know, in the scrum means a lot. So
they're great tacklers as well. Great tacklers.
Yeah. So also in sevens, a couple of exciting things internationally. Earlier in April, Lebanon hosted Qatar and Syria for the first ever West Asia Women's Sevens tournament. Qatar beating the Lebanon Red in a nail-biting 10-7 win in the final. Also upcoming, May 26th and 27th, is the Africa Women's Sevens in Botswana, where there'll be 12 teams for that tournament. So lots of exciting things happening internationally and just for the growth of the game, obviously on different levels, but great to see more and more women playing internationally. Last question I have for you there, Poppy. What's Reggie up to these days?
I can guess it.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah. No, Reggie's good and he's all good. I'm getting him ready to move to Bournemouth, so he's by the beach. He's got a big garden. I'm handing him over to my mother for a month while I travel America. So he's going.
You're coming to the US.
Yeah, so doing the whole Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Francisco. So if anyone's listening and wants a beverage in those areas, just drop me a tweet.
Yeah, a big West Coast tour for you. So you'll be at the Women's Sevens, obviously.
Yeah, I will be, and then just traveling that side, just up and down.
Sounds great.
I'm excited about.
Hopefully we can touch base with you when you're there and get more of the inside scoop.
Yeah, okay. Like, could do like a live from the World Cup or something.
Yeah.
But hello, what's all that noise in the background? Sorry, England just scored.
Right, yeah, maybe. We'll see, yeah.
That's a no then.
Yeah, with like Canada in the background, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. In light of the recent royal I-dos, I have asked Poppy if she will be a regular with me on this show and join me as my co-host. And Poppy, what do you say?
I do.
All right. And for more conversations from the world of women's sport, including articles, videos, blogs, and podcasts, visit wisports.com. With Sports Radio is the largest podcast network for women's sport in the world, with more than 800 episodes across 30 unique shows and a global audience of more than 1.8 million. You can listen on the website or subscribe on your favorite podcast player.